is AJ Sankofa, and I am the founding partner and pastaio of ESO Artisanal Pasta. Doing babushka's pies was really the foreground for ESO. Running through the whole food business, how it works, what we need, what works, what doesn't work, you know, where to get this from, where not to go, just everything, everything that we know now and we knew going into ESO was because we started, you know, Christina and I doing babushka's pies together, and you know, I tell Christina all the time, like it's something that would not have happened without her, you know. So always, paying huge homage to her there. And while babushka's pies kind of just took off, I was like in the background trying to get myself ready and talking to Joel about figuring out how we were going to do this pasta thing. We'd had the idea for years. I mean, probably at least 3 years we've been talking about doing something like this. Originally, we were actually also going to make it a delivery service, just like babushka's pies. We got really, really fortunate that our old pastry chef from Jockey Hollow, Andrea, who's the owner of the Artist Baker, reached out to us about 2 weeks before we were going to launch and said, hey, you know, I rent out the space to small businesses. It's vacant right now. Do you guys want to come through? And we were like, yeah, 100%, no questions asked, we'll be there. But that, the building of ESO was a lot of work, a lot of research and development, figuring out how I wanted to do the menus, figuring out where I was going to get all the produce, figuring out where I was going to import all the Italian products that I wanted and needed from, the flour, the specialty olive oils, and neonata and coloratura, and then really pulling from all my experience from every single restaurant that I worked in, from ordering to inventory to spreadsheets to Excel to, you name it. Like, I had to really, and with help from Joel and help from Christina, we really as a team just, we started, dancing in the jungle with this thing, and it was very challenging. A lot of late nights, and it's still that way. The nights just keep getting later, honestly. But it was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And we spent, must have been from like mid-May to we opened July 1st. So we spent like a month and a half, just preparing, getting everything ready, figuring out exactly how we were going to do this, and who we wanted to be, how we wanted to approach social media, how we wanted to approach our community, how we wanted to, just put this thing together. And throughout that time, Isaiah, who would go on to become the third partner, he was just always there helping us whatever we needed, whether it was an extra car to fit stuff in, or when I was making the butcher's blocks, or et cetera, et cetera. He was always there, my right-hand man since I was 13 years old. We went to middle school and high school together, we came up together. So, he was always just another backbone. And that's why, we felt like it was the right decision after, I think, the second week we opened, or the day we opened, I think we decided, okay, we need you on the team. But, really just the birthplace of ESO is just like everybody having a skill, Joel being a very detail-oriented, design, creative, planned out, just like a well-maintained individual that kind of knew how to like take what was in front of him, which was me, and all the knowledge that I took with me from working in, upstate New York City, different regions of Italy, Morristown even, and, say, hey, you've developed all of these skills, you've learned this, that, and the third, you have something special, let's do something with it. And, I was obviously on board, mostly because I was bored, so it's like, and then, just having Isaiah just being that very strong number two, whenever I needed something, however I needed it, however it needed to be done, no matter how hard, this, that, or the third, always being there, Christina the same way, and, it just all really worked itself out. It's hard work, but it's working itself out. Like, it's seamless in a sense. Like, coronavirus was literally the birthplace of ESO. We would not have done this if it weren't for coronavirus completely, taking away my job, taking away Isaiah's job, and, kind of leaving me with just a bunch of time to weigh my options. As a cook, you're always focused on, the next service or the next restaurant or the next kitchen or the next chef that you want to work for. But as just a man with not much to do and a bunch of experience and knowing what I am passionate about, it's like, okay, well, it's kind of obvious, what to do now. And, I, am inspired by the fact that, and it's going to sound weird, but by the fact that, like, myself and other people out there in the world are starting new things during, the craziest of times. I mean, people ask us all the time, well, when did you guys open? We say, well, July 1st. And they say, what? That's like right in the heart. And we say, yeah, I know. That's just kind of how it went, instead of letting the coronavirus like tear everything down for us and, leave us stuck in the mud, we decided to use that as fuel to uproot ourselves and really grow and shine. That, just really gave us the momentum to say, hey, let's do something. Like, let's do this. There's nothing stopping us, nothing holding us back, and ultimately, it should always be that way. And I'm excited, and I hope that everyone else in the community is excited for not only myself and the rest of the guys at ESO, but any other business or any other groups of people or individuals that have ideas, that want to express themselves, that want to get out there, that want to show the world what they can do it. I mean, that's my biggest advice. If you have anything that you love, anything that you care about, anything that you're passionate about, just do it. And that's on any, to any capacity, whether or not it's just, doing it day by day on your own time, or starting a business, or starting a blog, or, whatever it is that you want to do, you just have to do it. It starts with the action, and then you'll figure everything else out along the way. Yeah, as far as fundraising goes and just like doing community-based things, that really started with like the Black Lives Matter Morristown group. Major shout out to them, because they like really were a huge part of our like growing customer base. So the Black Lives Matters event was important for what it was, on top of being able to showcase young black people like myself and Isaiah and what we're capable of doing under the right mentorship, under the right influence, under the right direction, if you will. And so I'm really pleased that I'm able to be such a strong and prominent member of my community that the youth can look up to and say, hey, this is possible. I can do this. I can start my own thing. I can develop skills, or, develop a skill set and go somewhere with it, So I guess it was in between doing all the Black Lives Matters protests and setting up our tent that we ended up doing a huge donation. I think we did two, actually, big donations to Bethel AME Church, which is Isaiah's home church. Him and his entire family have went there for years and years. And we donated, I believe, over 10 kilos of pasta and I want to say 40 pints of sauce, and they distributed it in Mount Olive to anybody that was in need of a meal, and that was really awesome. Like I said before, giving back to the community, being a prominent member of the community, and just spreading positivity and light is super important to me, and I'm glad that I can embody that in a sense, and that something that's important to me, my craft, the artisanal side of who I am, is able to supplement the good in this world. So the biggest thing about ESO for us really is we're very tight-knit. I mean, I'm basically working with my two best friends and my girlfriend, and we're family. It's all about family, it's all about support, it's all about love, it's all about being there for each other first and foremost, and that's the foreground for the love that we are spreading throughout our community when people sit down at the kitchen table and eat our food. That's the point. Take this and enjoy it with someone that you love, because that's what we're doing.